my screen. Let me know when you can see my screen.
JP, can you rejoin once again?
Can I?
Can you rejoin once again?
What happened?
Your voice is echoing.
Is it enough yet? I don't think so. Is it echoing for everyone?
No, not
No,
really.
JP.
No.
Okay. Do you have anyone beside you, Srinivas? I think, or connect earphones so that it won't be echoing. I think everybody is on mute. Fine. Let's see. So we have discussed about this credit note and return order and all. So we have to discuss about accounts receivable parameters, as well as we also need to discuss about various reports available in accounts receivable. So first today, let us discuss about the reports that are available in accounts receivable. If time permits, then we will discuss about the parameters thing. And if time permits, we'll skip the parameters to the next class and we'll discuss about another module, credit and collections. I'll just give a brief overview of that module. Before that, let me start with accounts receivable and the reports, various reports in this module. So in same like in any other module in accounts receivable also, we have certain inquiries and reports within which we have a lot of reports and also kind of inquiries too. So there are these reports. Give me a second, guys. Sorry, guys. Yeah. So being back to the topic that we are about to discuss, inquiries and reports. So as I was saying, there were a lot of inquiries and reports in accounts receivable module as well as parallel to the accounts payable module. Kind of same reports you will have, but in perspective which are related to customers. So we can see certain inquiries and reports here. The credit card history in case if you use credit cards or credit card issues, if you have any credit card issues. Then gift card invoices. So most of these are related to retail module. Actually, we don't really use credit card and all in this module, but related to retail module, if there is any connection to this accounts receivable module, then we will have these reports in place. Other than that, we have this report, history by transaction report, which is important to, you can see all the transactions history of the customer transactions that are posted. You can run it from the date to date actually. So since it will be the first report that we will run today, it takes time. So bear with it. So history by transaction is that report which gives every minute detail about each transaction that you have posted for customers. So you can give date criteria along with, you can also filter it with for which particular customer you want to take this report for, or for the which group of customers you want to take out this report for. So mostly they'll extract this report or data and they will make another report so out of it. Actually, they make some pivot tables or anything else out of it by extracting the data from this report. So here I can see main accounts only or totals per account only. I can select any parameters. I'm not selecting this main accounts only or total per accounts only. You can select either one customer or list of customers here if you want to, or you can also add more options in the filter. You have that option always. You can add customer group also into the filter, or if you want to track a single voucher, you can also select that particular voucher or copy the voucher number and paste it here, so that also you can, with that also you can track it. You can give the date here for which particular date, or you can also give date range from one date double dot to another date. So that criteria also you can, I'll just run this report for all the details. I'm not giving any filters or minimizing the report. Just try to run it for all the details that would be available on this report. Let's see, it would take some time to load. Well, it's taking a long time. Somehow it's a very big report too, and we have started with this report, so it takes time. Yeah, you can see this report here. So you can see this free text invoice transaction, free text invoice number 1, in which you have used 4 lines, I think, actually, wherein you used 2 revenue accounts. I mean, 2 lines you used, wherein you used 2 revenue accounts, and this is the accounts receivable accounts, as you can see, customer balance and customer revenue posting type. And you can also see the descriptions if there are any, if you have given any descriptions, the currency, the debit and credit of this. So customer balance is debited with 1500, whereas the other revenue accounts are credited with 500 and 1000, as you can see it here. And this is the amounting accounting currency. This is in transaction currency, which means your the currency in which you have done the transaction. This is in accounting currency. It also includes this particular main accounts, as you can see here, and the voucher number. So this is some report that gives a complete overview of a transaction that you have posted. And if you click on any of the vouchers, for suppose, it will directly take you to that particular voucher. So if I click on this free text invoice voucher, FTIV, free text invoice voucher. So it took me to the free text invoice directly, where I can see the voucher. So it should be here in the voucher. So I can see the voucher. Your subscription revenue is credited for 1000 and business revenue is debited for 1000, and accounts receivable is debited for 1500. So that's all. So every detail of all the transactions you can see here. If you also, I mean, it shows up according to the customer, as you can see. First, for customer number 1, the first page, you can go to the next page. So page by page, it will represent the data. So it's loading to the next page. Here is the next page. And here you have customer number 3 with few transactions, and customer number 2 here with some other transactions. And there is a grand total about the total debits and credits. So here also you can see the total grand total or the existing customer balance accordingly. Everything, the payments or the expenses, everything will be recorded here within. So this is one very big report, history by transaction report, which gives a detailed brief details of the transaction that you have done with customers at in different points. Normally in business, if you run this report, it takes a lot of time, so that they will mostly run it in the batch, like which will take some 15 to 30 minutes if it's a very big report. And if they are not filtering it and running it for all the customers or group of customers, also it takes time. Then we have open transactions report, which means the transactions that are open for the customers can be seen in this particular report. Transactions report is different again, wherein you can see the list of transactions for the customers. Regardless of open or close, you can select what transaction that you want to see here. So let's see this open transactions report. Open transactions per which date. For today's date, I would select so which customer records to include. You can select one particular customer if you want to, or you can also add a group here if that field also will be available if you go into filter and change it. Suppose if I go to filter, I can add something here. Add customers table. Okay, derived table customers. Here I can select customer group. So let me search for it. Customer group is here. Yeah, this is also a criteria. I can give a customer group if I want to. I'm not giving anything, but always you can add any field here for selection. If that particular table, that field is present in the table given in the particular filter, then you can add that field and give the criteria if you want to. You click on OK. And then so here I can see the report for each customer again. So these are the open transactions that are there for the customers. It won't show the transactions that are settled actually. Only the transactions that are open, it shows up here. Open transactions as per this particular date. Okay, for Hyundai Motors, there is only a single open transaction for 12,000. It seems to be an invoice actually. So we only have that. Since I have the invoice number here, it should be an invoice. For payment transactions, I see here customer payment transaction. I don't see invoice number, but for remaining, I can see invoice numbers. So that's one. You can also see important reports in customers. So customer account statement, which is one of the important, considered to be important report. You can print the account statement of a customer and send it to the customer asking to pay the due amounts. So let us try to print this report, customer account statement. So for each customer, you can print this particular report. So you can select from which date to which date you want to print this customer account statement for. I'll say starting from September 1st until today's date. Only open transactions you want or all the transactions you can select. So mostly you can run it for only open transactions. Or if you want to give the complete detail overview to the customer about the transaction that we have done with the customer, you can select all open transactions, reverse transactions, balances other than zero. So if there are any zero related transactions, you can ignore them. So there won't be any zero transactions mostly. So I'm not selecting it anyway. Payment schedules, if there are any applicable, you can say that. So for that particular transaction, that schedule amounts will show up. So this particular invoice has to be paid in these many installments will show up. We did not apply any payment schedule for any transaction, so I'll just ignore it. Credit limit, you can show if you have any credit limit for the customer. Show due until, I can say due until November 30, you can show what are the transactions that are due until November 30, that should show up. Show maturity distribution, so print maturity distribution at the end of the report. Yeah, let's select that one as well. So, but for that, again, you have to select this aging period definition, which we will discuss in some time. So this has to be a configuration which is done in credit and collections module. So I'll show you how to do it. But for now, I'm ignoring this show maturity distribution. So manual setup, we can do it. Show manual setup here. So I can give maturity distribution on monthly basis. Okay, and I'll run it. So I did not select any customer, right? So I should have selected one customer. Anyway, it will give you a report of all the customers one by one. Normally they'll run it for specific customer. So if you want to share the detailed statement of the customer to the customer. Whatever the transaction that you have recorded until now with the customer, you can extract from your ERP and send it to the customer, so that he will also cross check with his transaction that he have posted in his books for the trade. So this is the account statement. As you can see, this should be for one customer. Yeah, customer number 3 it is Mahindra Motors. So for Mahindra Motors, these are the transactions that we have done until 1500 free text invoice, this one credit note, and free text original free text invoice for that. Then I have one free text invoice pending and one normal invoice pending. 6500 is the pending amount, as you can see. Closing balance is 6500. Due per 30/11/2021. We gave due per so and so date, right? So these are the two transactions that are due. So due date was 3rd of November and 3rd of November for this 1500 transaction and 5000 transaction, both of them. 3rd of November was the due date, but we did not, we did not receive any amount from the customer, so they are still showing up as they are due as per this particular date. And below you can see this one. This is the maturity distribution. So when they are matured, you can see a balance is 6500, and after 30/2021 we don't have any actually. So at the end bucket it is showing 6500. If you normally it is there here, it is showing here. I think for this 6500, do we have any specifications? Is it a rent invoice? No, right? No, it should not be a rent invoice. We have created rent invoice for another customer, I think. But I was wondering why it is only showing up for one customer, customer number 3. We did not select one customer, right? But it automatically took one customer, where I don't see another page also. Let me rerun this report once. Okay, I have it here, sorry. So that's for customer number 3. This is for customer number 2. One by one I got it here. So for customer number 2, I have only one transaction until, so which is for 12,000, which is due on this particular date. So it is showing due date was 19th of November 2021. It's up yet to mature. And if I close this one, I can see for customer number 1. So there were quite few transactions for Kia Motors we have done with customer Kia Motors. So in this I can see all these transactions, where I can see the invoice numbers as well. And you can also see this report also shows the transactions that are due for payment. So this one transaction is due for payment. Other than this, there are transactions which were posted in. So all of them are due here. You can see on 2nd of December, 2nd of December, 2nd of December, 3rd of December, most of transactions. Only this one transaction is due within 30th of November. So this was not paid, or this is a payment, advance payment transaction actually, which we have received in advance. So it is showing negative amount. So most for this customer, I think we have given it 30 days as the terms of payment. So for all the transactions that we have done on this customer for September, November 2nd, November 3rd, it's taking December 2nd and December 3rd as the due date, as you can see here. So that's the thing. So this is one detailed report. You can export this report and send it to the customer so that he will also reconcile with his transactions and pay the due dates pay the due amounts according to the due dates that are mentioned in this report. So you would have clearly agreed, right, that you would have to receive this money on this particular due dates or before this due date. So once you send this, customer also will be alert, or will try to understand what are the pending transactions that are there with you, and he will also try to pay them. So that's how this customer account statement works. So that's one of the most important reports we have under customers. Then customer auditor report is one. I'm not sure about what, but customer report one we have. I think this is regarding the balances. Let's check this customer report, what it is up to. I'll just run it on the screen. So I think it's with the details of the customer. I mostly believe, not the balances. What are the details that we keep for the customer? All of them will be brought into a report. The general details of the customer, like addresses, phone numbers, that details. So mostly it will take all of them from the customer master tables. Yeah, it is. So for customer number one, the address of the customer, name, customer group, currency, terms of payment, it's showing up here. Default terms of payment and cash discounts if we gave any. So all those details will be printed up here. Customer number two, we have this, and for customer number three, we have this. That's up. Other than this, we have one important report called customer to ledger reconciliation report. So this report is majorly helpful in reconciling the balances from accounts receivable to general ledger. So we also have this report in accounts payable, vendor to ledger reconciliation report. In the same way, here we have customer to ledger reconciliation, bank to ledger reconciliation report was also there in cash and bank management module. So I can give a posting profile here, like general posting profile, just to reconcile the transactions. Include details, yes. If I say differences only, it will show the list of transactions that are having differences that were posted in accounts receivable and general ledger both, and which are having differences. So if I post a packing slip for a customer, so that will get posted here in general ledger, but in accounts receivable. But if I am not enabling that voucher, so it will not show up in general ledger normally. Or if the voucher is struck somewhere in the periodic tasks in general ledger, it will not show up. So such kind of differences it will identify automatically if there are any. Normally I'll run it on screen here for today's date for the posting profile general, so that any transaction that are posted to that particular account will show up. The reconciliation will show up from accounts receivable module to general ledger module. It shows there is no data. I'm sorry, I gave from date and to date as same. That should be wrong. So from date I have to give something in like October 15 to 5th of November from date to date. Now I should run this one. Yeah. So I can see for this particular main account, accounts receivable, these are the transactions we have posted in accounts receivable. And for all those things, we have the balances in accounts receivable. This is the customer balance. That's how it is affected. And this is the ledger balance, the voucher, how it is affected. I mean, within the general ledger, how the account, this particular account was affected, accounts receivable account. So I see there are all the same. I don't see any differences at all. So which means it's a good accounting. We did not post anything wrong, or nothing went wrong actually, which would cause differences between your customer module or your accounts receivable module to the general ledger module. Just plugging my charger in. Yeah. So most of the times you can run this report and identify. So it will show up some vouchers if there were any struck somewhere or which were not posted, or if there are any other differences accordingly because of any technical issues or any other thing, data corruptions. You can see that here in this particular report. Okay. Other than this, what else we have? So there is internal customer account statement, which would normally look like the same of that report. Coming to orders, here we have one report, order lines not invoiced report. So this is one report with the order lines, sales order lines, which were not invoiced yet. If they were pending, had to be invoiced, you can see that particular details in this report. So let's try to see this one, order lines. This is also useful. So do you want all the details of configuration, color, size, style, and all? Site, warehouse, location, inventory status, license plate. Yeah, and these are all actually the inventory related parameters which were there with this inventory module. There seems there is no order lines that are not yet invoiced. So there could be no lines that are not yet invoiced. We might have invoiced all the orders, or any of them would have been cancelled or returned mostly. If I go to sales orders, let's see if there are any as such. I don't think so. There are any orders that are pending, which are delivered and invoiced. See, all of them are invoiced or either cancelled, or one is a open order. So this should be open order. Actually, it doesn't really have any line, I guess so. So it was struck somewhere. It's a return order we have tried, but it was struck somewhere earlier. So we have done something wrong and we left it over there itself. Oh, it's taking time. So there is a line, but this line is not delivered yet. So that's why it is not showing up. That's just an open order. So if there are any lines that are delivered but not invoiced, that will normally show up there in this report. And regarding invoices, we have invoice history report, invoice journal report, customer invoice journal report, customer invoice transactions report, invoice turnover report, which gives kind of details with the different variances according to the report. Let's see this invoice history report. It's not a report, actually it's an inquiry. So you can see all the list of invoices that were posted, and you can see those lines of those particular invoices in the bottom here, all of them. So these are the few sales order invoices that we have posted in the system, almost 12 of them. So you can see all of them here, the details of that particular sales order and the invoice details. So most of these reports are related to this inventory related or supply chain team only. So we can also see the sales tax history. Normally it's a report which will give you a detailed report of how sales tax was calculated on in accounts receivable module for various different customer transactions. So but we do not use any sales tax yet, but if we have used any sales tax on the transactions, we could have seen that too as well. You can see this invoice turnover report. Let's see how it shows up. Grouping by account number. Okay, from date starting from October 1st to November 5th. I'll just click on OK. Let's see the invoice turnover report for each customer. It is for customer 1 Kia Motors. We have done this much amount of invoices, so 14,950. With Hyundai, we have done this much trade. Mahindra, we have done this much trade, and totally we have done this much trade with the invoices. Okay, this is all. If it will also decrease the credit note amounts. If there are any negative numbers on the invoices, like credit note numbers, it will decrease that amount and it will show up the delta amount. Positive amounts and negative amounts, both of them. Regarding payments, yes, we also have another report with payments. So bills of exchanges, which are most common in accounts receivable, mostly this customers will issue some bills of exchanges or will give you some security bills without making any payment. So that bill will be matured in some date. So before that date, you can just cash that bill by giving it in bank. Banks will take that bill, or you can also hand over it to some other person if you want to. And you can take cash, or you can. So the bills will come with some kind of margin. If at all bank will take that bill, so bank will have some margin out of that bill. Or if bank will give you some amount on that bill, so on the maturity date when the bank collects it from the customer, so it will have some margin which is profit for the bank. So those details, but for this again, it's like most like the promissory note setup. We might have to do some 10 steps again for different configurations of the journals as well as the templates for bills of exchanges. So we have this customer post-dated checks as well. So we can also post-dated checks for customers. I want you guys to try this one by creating a method of payment as post-dated check and giving all the setup just like in the vendor payment. You can also use it in the customer payment. The post-dated check method of payment you can use, and you can generate. You can normally post a post-dated check transaction, which would eventually get posted to the bridging account. So on the, you can give the maturity date of the check as well while posting the post-dated check in the customer payments too. Upon maturity date, you can come to this customer post-dated check page and you can settle it. You know how to settle it in the page, right? In the vendor payments, we have done it. So here also you can follow the same procedure, clear post-dated checks, or you can also do it through general ledger. There you have the option of clear bridging transactions. From there also you can do it. Anything will work. Then under payments, what else we have? Customer posted payment journal report. So normally this gives the details of all the payment transaction that you have done for customers. I'll show you. Only it shows the posted transactions. All any booked transaction that were not posted yet will not reflect in this report. See here. These are the payments that you have made for customers. So this is payment number something 1000, which was settled to this particular invoice. So you can see this one invoice here. There is another payment of 1000, which is also settled to this invoice only. Since this invoice is for 1500, here is settled with 1000. And another 1000 payment transaction also you have settled with this one, but there will be another 500 left over on this payment again. So that was there. And then that here you can see another payment journal for Mahindra Motors for 6500. You have settled 2 invoices for that payment, so you can see those settled invoices here, all of them. That's how it is showing. And so that would be all the important reports we have in accounts receivable module. Normally these are the standard reports we have. Mostly they will follow the same reports or run one of those reports for identifying other details related to any other transactions or any details that they required. So other than this accounts receivable module, we have one more module called as credit and collections module. So this credit and collection module is an extension to accounts receivable module. After you do transactions with the customers or post invoices and do some trade and deliver goods and send invoices to customers, so customers are liable to pay the amount to you according to the due dates mentioned on the invoice or according to the terms and conditions. See, in order to collect those amounts from the customers, there involves a process actually. So some customers normally will pay the amounts according to the due dates, planned due dates. Few customers will not pay them on the due dates. They will extend or they will take time. Some will not pay at all. So what we will do with those particular situations or how we handle such situations. So in most of the big companies where there is a lot of trade with customers, so where there are a lot of customers involved in trade with the companies, they follow this process called as collections. So they have separate collection agents who would reach out to customers or a group of customers for collection of the pending amounts from them. So they will keep on calling them or sending emails reminding them saying that there are amounts that are pending from you for on this invoice which you have to settle. There can be chances that there will be disputes too in invoices. So you might be recording the invoice in some amount in customer books, he might be recording it in some other amount, or there might be less charges or less sales tax entered. So which would cause some kind of disturbances or disputes between your trade to their trade, or it won't reconcile properly. So in that case, again, there will be some understanding or communication between your side people and the customer to understand where this difference arises, and you will take proper steps to clear all those things. So all those details are normally in this module. How the collection pattern can be designed for collecting the amount from the customers. If the customers are not paying, what has to be done? At the end point, what has to be done? So all these things are there in this module normally. So I'll just give you a brief overview of how this works. So we have this option called as aged balances in order to check what are the customer aged balances and how these balances will age accordingly. So you must create an aging period definition. It is saying I'll just create that aging period definition that's here in credit and collections. Under setup, the last one I have aging period definition. This is one configuration which we can use in multiple reports actually. So when you say monthly, it will normally show you the transactions that are pending on the monthly basis, right? In the vendor transactions report, or we have run one report, right? What was that report? I just forgot the name of the report.
Vendor aging report.
Vendor aging report, correct.
Yeah.
Good. So in the vendor aging report, there was a option to select this aging period definition, but we ignored it and we have run that particular report only for 1 month or by month. It created 6 buckets according to each month, and it will show up.
Is this a customization for buckets?
Yeah, we can customize the buckets accordingly, like for each week or 15 days, or if you want to first 7 days and then 15 days, then 25 days, you can also do like that in this particular aging period definition. But there is a limitation in this particular aging period definition that you can only create 6 buckets up to a maximum. You can create as many aging period definitions as you want, but the limit is that you can only create 6 buckets within one. That's how. I'll just duplicate this tab just to show you how it was created in USMF, and we'll try to duplicate the same in here in this particular module. So this is one important configuration actually. USMF. So in USMF I have 3 of them. So I have this 10, 30, 45, 60, which is for each 15. I mean, I can start it from 15 days normally if I want to. So current means 0, minus 10, minus 20, minus 15, another 15 means it will go backwards. So what are the due amounts that are due from the customer today, or which were due from past 10 days, which were due from past 30 days. So 10 minus another 20, past 30 days, past 45 days, past 60 days. I can create in that way. So that's how you can create. Here you have another one, 30, 60, 90, 180 means current how many from past 30 days, how many are pending, from past 60 days, how many are pending, from past 90 days, how many are pending, past 180, how many are pending. You can create in this way, or you can also create it positive numbers if you want to. So I'll show you how you can create positive numbers. Suppose I'll create new one here. So I'll say minus 30, 0, plus 30. I'll just show it in this way, minus 30, 0, plus 30. So what I'll do is, so I have this is automatically this will get created. I can remove all of them and I'll create new ones. So we'll see, I'll show you how it will be created. Remove this. So I'll also select this or remove this one. So add above, I'll just create one above. I'll create it as 30 days and give unit as 30. So unit must be less than 0. It is saying normal. I think it should be less than 30. Days, yeah, 30 days. I can give some green circle or any symbol that I want. Actually, in this report, it shows only backwards, which means like, I mean, I can create aging period definition only backwards. From 0 to 30, 30 to minus, backwards only, minus 60, minus 90 like that, or you can create accordingly, like minus 5, minus 10, your wish. You can give any number of days. But in my company, which I was working at, they wanted a report in such a way that it should show the past balances that were still pending as well as the future balances that would show up, that would be pending again, or that were due. So starting from today, I would say before 30 days, how many is pending, and after 30 days, how many would be mature or how many would be due, how many invoices would be due, it should show up. So we have done a customization actually for such kind of report. So normally in this report, as I told you, it supports only maximum of 6 buckets, not more than that. But in the report that we have customized it, or in another aging period definition which we have customized, it will support more than 30 actually. Sorry, more than 6 buckets. We have totally 12 to 14 buckets we have within that. So I'll show you normally how this works. So I'll create a normal aging period definition. I have it one here, so I'll just give it a name. So we can create according to each 15 days. So I'll start doing it from for each 15 days, how much amount is due. I can say it as 15, 30, 45, 60, 75, 90, this bucket. I'll just copy it, paste it. So by default, all this will appear. You don't have to mind all these things. You can delete them and create by your own. So I'll remove everything from here. So I'll show you now. So this is current period. Current means 0 according to that particular date when you are going to run the report. So it is showing green mark, or you can select any mark if you want to. It shows green check mark, which is positive. So I'll create one more, add above. So 15 days. 15 days means here you have to give minus 15, means which is due from past 15 days. It means like which was due from past 15 days. So I can select a day here. So past 15 day. You can select 15 months or 15 weeks or anything. So I'll select 15 days. So there will be a symbol here. So I'll show you the significance of these symbols again. I'll select orange. Orange means not so late according to me. I'll create one more above. So I'll create it as 30 days. 30 days. So which includes another 15. So I'll create day. So here I'll give yellow symbol, something like yellow triangle, means somewhat late. Then I'll give 45 days, which will be another 15. So after 30, if we add 15, then we'll get 45, right? So I can give 15 here. So another 15 days. So for this, I'll give blue symbol. Blue means it's going more severe. And I will add another one like 60 days. I'll give another 15 units here, like 15 days units. So I can give day, and I'll give you here as red color. So I'll give this red, means which is very severe. We'll create one more like 75 days. Another 15. Another day. I'll give red X here, so it is very serious and we don't do any more trade with them. So if I try to create one more, let's see, it is saying here no more than 6 aging periods can be used in external statements. So we have already crossed 6, right? Current totally 6 we have. So when I try to create another one, there is an issue. So I'll just remove this one. Let it be like this until if you want to direct 90, not 75, you can give directly 90 here, 90 days, and you can give 30 days here. So that 75 will be skipped and the last bucket will be for 30 days accordingly. So you can customize your buckets as you wish. So it's just these numbers will play around, or you can give weeks or days, anything according to your wish. These symbols, actually I'll tell you the significance of these symbols. So these symbols will normally show up the seriousity of the due, how much. So 90 days I am giving this red color X mark, which means the seriousity. You can select any symbol, it's up to you. So whatever you feel that it will be more convenient for you, you can select that kind of symbol for each situation. So now we have created this one, right? So let's see how this will work, or how we can apply this particular aging period definition which you have created here for aging the customer balances. So here normally I can see this custom in the credit and collections module. Here I can see aged balances, but this aged balances to reflect, I have to run this one, age customer balances periodic task. Once I run this one, this is called as customer aging snapshot. If I run this, I'll get the age balances here. So first I'll run this one in the periodic task in credit and collections module. I have this age customer balances. I'll just click on it. So here, according to which aging period definition, we have one that you have created. Then pool ID is not required. You can select the due date as the criteria, whatever that are falling due or fall in due according to that, you can run it. So aging as of today's date or selected date. According to today's date, you can select, or if you can select any future date. So you can select a future date and see how the customer balances are getting aged, or on that particular day how it will look like. So I can select today's day itself. So update collection status only for MRF legal entity. I'll click on OK. So normally they'll schedule this batch job on a daily basis. So they'll keep it in a batch job and run this aging snapshot on daily basis so that customer balances will get updated on daily basis. So it will. So more every time you have to check the customer balances, aging balances, you have to run this one. So if you only directly enable it in a batch, so it will automatically show up. It is so opening is operation completed. Aging snapshot has been created for the selected customers. So that will look here in the aged balances under collections. This one. So here, as you can see, Hyundai Motors. So these two are showing up in yellow. Mahindra Motors. So it was due from past 15 days, as you can see here. In the last 15 days, it was due. So you can see here. And current due according to today's date, and in this particular bucket, you have 13,450 for this Kia Motors, and which was due from the past 15 days was minus 500. Minus 500 means it's a payment transaction actually, which is advance payment, so it is showing in minus. So this Hyundai Motors 12,000 is due on current or today, or according to today's date, or any other date later today, not before to today's date. So if it is before to today's date, it will normally show up here. If it is the due date is falling anything from like past 15 days, it will show up here. Past 30 days, it will show up. Past 45, it will show up here. So accordingly, it will show up in these places. So nothing is serious as of now. Nothing is falling due, or none of the customer balances were overdue or due from a long time. As you can see, only for one customer, it is due from 15 days, or the due date was completed 15 days back or somewhere, so that you can see that 10,000 amount here normally. So in this page, you can give some details, or you can perform some actions. As you can see, action, there will be different actions. You can write down some action type you can create. So it's an entire different module where you can create a lot of things. You can create cases. Cases means, suppose if this customer is not paying, he's saying there is a dispute with one of the transaction. Once clearing the dispute, he will pay. So for that, you can create a case. So case is a situation where someone can attend the case, someone will talk to the customer, and they will write down all the details that they have discussed with the customer, or whatever the history that happened with the customer on discussion that they can mention in this case. So some other one also can access this case that you create here. These are called as collection cases actually. So you can create one new case. So case ID will be given, then the primary contact for the case, what was the SLAs, then history of the case also you can see somewhere, and the knowledge articles, if you have to provide any policy details, you can add. So if the customer is having issue with some written order issues, you can add your written policies here, which was conveyed to the customer before the trade, so that it will be a knowledge check for someone, whoever is looking into this case. So you can see the service level agreement status and all details here in this customer cases. If you have resolution, you can also enter that resolution. On follow-up details, you can add case log, you can add here, like details of the case and the notes and the associations. Everything can be added in this particular case details. If at all you create a new case for the one of the customer dispute. You can also do some activities. Activities in the sense there are certain activities when the customer is not paying. Activities means you can send a collection letter. Collection letter or dodging letters is a concept which we have in Dynamics, where you can send collection letters to the customers when they are not paying due. Even if they are not paying the due amount, even the due dates are crossed, you can send the collection letters. So that's one of the important process that they follow normal in the credit and collections. We have this option: set up collection letters, create collection letters, collection letter journal. So we have this option. So what this collection letters does is, suppose if the customer amount is due tomorrow, okay, tomorrow means 6th of November, it is due for tomorrow, 6th of November 2021. I can create a collection letter sequence. Normally I will follow the same for all the customers. So collection letter 1 I'll create. In the same way I'll create 3 to 4 collection letters, like excuse me. So this would be collection letter 2, collection letter 3 and collection letter 4. So this collection letter 1 I'll send tomorrow, or I'll wait until tomorrow. If he's not paying tomorrow, once after the due date of the customer is done, I'll send the collection letter number 1. See your due date, or else I can send collection letter beforehand also today itself, saying that your amount is due, your amount is going to be due. Be due shortly. Please pay it. Or you can say your amount to be paid on invoice is going to be paid, is going to be due shortly. Please pay it. Before the maturity date or the due date, you can send this collection letter. Collection letter is nothing but a kind of notification that you send to the customer. You can also print a collection letter and post it to the customer, and collection letter sometimes also includes charges. Okay, somebody will go and deliver the collection letter, or you can send a collection agent for the collection letter, which would include charges, like you can add some $20 or $30 charge on the same. So collection letter 2 is once after the due date. Suppose let's assume after 2 days after the due date, you can send collection letter 2 saying that your amount was due from few days. Please pay it. Collection letter 3, you can send like your amount, you can say your amount to be paid was seriously due from a long time. Please pay it. Okay, I can give it like this. So suppose guys, if the customer is not paying even after repeated customer collection letters, sending collection letters or collection agent, what would you do in business? Anyone? What normally the companies do if the customers are not paying?
We can charge interest.
So that's one step. Yeah, they'll keep on charging interest. Other than that, if you're not even responding to
court
We'll
case
send a legal
penalties.
notices.
correct, legal notice will be the last option. So not last option, last but one option. I'll tell you what will be the last option. So this one, collection letter 4 will be a legal notice, as I can say, or whatever will be the last collection letter, that will be a legal notice. You can create more than 4 also if you want to. So, collection letter 4 or the final collection letter will be a legal notice to the customer saying that, so see, you can file a legal notice that with the invoice amount, with the invoice copy, see, this is the trade we have done with this customer is not paying, and you can send the lawyer notice or the legal notice. Even though he's not paying, okay, and customer kept IP, then what will you do? We filed an insolvency petition where he's unable to pay any amounts to anyone further. Then
Price as a bad debt.
correct, you will write off the customer balance as a bad debt. So this can be done through a write-off journal. We have a separate journal called as write-off journal, so through which you can write off the customer balance. So this will be the end step. Normally, if you write off, your customer will become 0 and you can block the customer for further trade. You can't do any more trade with him since you have left over a balance that he has to pay. So this is one process to set up collection letters, and you can also set up collection letter fees within and that main account which can be related. So it's a kind of revenue account, customer letter fees revenue, so that you can add somewhere here. So we have this process of collection letter setup here. Set up collection letters, create collection letters, review and process collection letters, collection letter journal, collection letter note report. You have them. So you can set up collection letter sequence actually here. You can create current customer collection letters, new collection letter sequence. So you can keep any sequence you want, or you can just give any details. Collection letters. So you can give collection letter code. You have this one, collection letter 1, description, L1, or you can give pre-notice, which means beforehand. So there won't be any fees on pre-notice normally. I'm not keeping any fees. So next will be collection letter 2. Collection letter 2 means post notice. So after the due date, you will give a post notice. If he's not paying, then also I'll give third serious notice, right? So this one, late notice, something. You can give any names. It's just general names I'm giving. On this, I'll charge some fees. So I'll keep some $20 fees on the late notice. If he's not paying, I'll add another $20 fees, and I'll keep a main account here. So I'll keep a main account as revenue account, some other revenue account, or collection letter fees I can create, which will also be a revenue account. Let me go for some 4 series accounts. I'll select this other revenues account normally, or collection fees revenue. You can keep that. Okay. Fourth, I'll keep it as, so the last one I'll keep it as legal notice normally. Okay, and for this also I'll keep some charges. For legal notice, sending legal notice, I'll incur some charges, right? So for that also I'll give other revenue account, and I'll give some $50 charges. I'll apply those charges on this particular customer itself. So here I can see minimum overdue balance. So if I say, if at all I have to send a collection letter, the customer's minimum overdue balance should be $10. So if it is less than $10, it won't send a collection letter. System will stop the collection letter. You can run collection letter for all the customers at a time, or whatever, for whichever customers the payment is due. For all of them, collection letters can be sent or can be posted. So you can give that minimum overdue balance. How much should be the customer balance if I have to send a collection letter? If it is minimum $10 only, I have to send it. Or if I say only minimum $100 only, I will send a collection letter. If it is less than $100, I don't generally send it. I'll wait for some other situation where customer balance, he might pay it with another invoice or something like that. So if there are any such minimum balances, normally customer won't pay at that time. If we remind them during the payment of another invoice, he'll add that charges as well and pay it, or he will add that overdue balance as well and pay it. So normally you can keep like so, 100, minimum 100 should be there. If it is less than 100, I won't send collection letters. I'll ignore it. So I'll just here. So for this legal notice, for issuing legal notice, there should be at least minimum 1000. I mean to say. So I'll just leave it as 1000. If it is less than 1000, I don't normally add it. So you can give days. How many number of days? You can say -2 before 2 days due date. It's not taking -2 actually. Let me give 0 itself. So on the due date, I'll send it. Okay, this one after 2 days of the due date. So this I can say after another 10 days. This I can say after 30 days if it's not responding at all. You can block one of the collection letter also if you want. Users will not post such collection letter if you block it. So this is how we can create collection letters or create a sequence of collection letters. Okay, next step is one we have create collection letters. This is what we have done, right? Set up collection letter sequence. So this is create collection letters. Create collection letters means it will generally create them. So actually in the setup collection letters only you can give some notes also here for each collection letter. This one here you can give notes. For pre-notice you can give these notes. This one that you have written down, right? So you can give this here where amount is due, and you can, or post notice you can give this one. So this is there, and for late notice you can give these notes. Legal notice you can give legal notice. Normally there is no notes for legal notice. Since the amount is pending from lot of days, we are sending a legal notice to you along with the collection letter. That's what you mean to say. You can give that note date if you want. So after this you can create collection letters for the customers. If the amount is due, then you can review and process the collection letters. First let us see how to create collection letters. See, for the invoices only, not for credit notes or for payments you don't do, right? For interest, there can be interest that can be charged on customers. For that also you can send collection letters. See, your interest is also pending from a while, like that. So I'll just select if only for invoices. So I'll send collection letter 1. So collection letter date, I'll send today's date. Use account, use a posting profile from account itself. Yeah, in general. So for which customer you want to send, you can select one customer, or for whatever customers it is due, it will select accordingly for this date. So I'll just click OK. Let's see, at least I should find one customer for whom I can send that collection letter 1. So it is saying operation completed. No collection letters were created for the criterion specified. The aging snapshot has been created for the selected customers. So this was previous one. We have created collections. I mean, it's not creating any collection letter accordingly. Let me select same create collection letter. So let me select the date as something like November 30. And then let me try to run it. Still no collection letters, it was saying. Let me run it for something in the next year, like February 20th next year. This by that time. Again no. Not sure why it's not creating any. Collection letter 1, 2, all. Okay. No, also it's not selecting any. Not sure why it's not selecting any actually, but this is how it works, the collection letter. Once after a collection letter is created, you can go into this review and post collection letters, where you can review the collection letters and post them. So you have this option of posting. So they will just get created and stays here. You can post them. After that, you can see the collection letter journal, the posted collection letters here in this page. You can also see the voucher. If that particular fees is involved, you can see the voucher. If there is no fees involved, you don't see any voucher. If fees is involved, you can see the voucher. That account that you have given there will be credited, and your same customer account will get debited, or instead of customer, accounts receivable account will get debited, increasing the customer balance. Or the $20 also will be added to the due balance of the customer normally. So you can see the report of all the collection letters that you have generated until here. So this is one process, guys, sending collection letters. There is another one here called interest. So you can set up interest codes to the customers. So not to the customer specifically, you can set up normal interest codes like 15% interest, 10% interest for 30 days, or 1% interest 30 days to 5% interest 60 days. You can set up monthly interest codes or yearly interest codes, like here in this, you set up interest codes. Okay, normally when you set up interest codes, if the customer balance is due for 30 days, you can apply that interest code and post it, run the interest code or create interest note. You have this option. Then again, you can review and post them. You can see the interest journal. So if you do that, customer interest account will get credited. It's a revenue for you, right? Customer interest or interest and customer balance will be a revenue for you. So that account will get credited and your customer account will get debited. Normally you can give that account in the interest code that you will create, so that eventually when you run this interest note, automatically interest will be calculated according to the number of due days and the interest percentage amount on the due balance, as well as it will credit and debit the accounts accordingly. So that transactions will be again added to the customer transaction. Once you post any transaction to the customer, either it can be a collection letter fees or either it is interest fees, anything will be added to the customer transactions and will increase the customer balance. So customer have to pay all these fees also while he have to settle the transaction, settle the amount to us. So that will be there. So if at all is not paying anything, then we have the last option like this write-off, right? We have this write-off journals here. You can create a write-off journal. So normally write-off journal is a daily journal only. You can create a journal as write-off journal and give the type journal type as daily only. You can post it in journals as well, or you can also post it somewhere from here or from the customer itself. So this is generally an inquiry for write-off journal. Give me 1 second. Let's see what happens. It's loading. We do not have any write-off journal actually. We can give a default write-off journal in the accounts receivable parameters, which it normally use. So if I click on that, it normally takes me to journal module on journals only. You can see here. From here, I can click on write-off and I can select write-off journals. So for write-off journals, normally you will give the default offset account as bad debts account. So that bad debts account will get debited automatically. Bad debts is an expense, right? So you will write off the customer balance, means you will credit the customer balance and you will debit the bad debts account. Normally, when you create any journal name like journal, you can create write off journal there itself. So when you give it, you will give a fixed offset account here as bad debts account, so that the bad debts account will get will be taken in the offset account as an offset account for all the journals that you post using the write-off journal. Within that, you can select the customer account again in the account field and you can credit it, and the bad debts account will eventually get debited, which is a expense, and the customer balance will be written off. So it's a simple accounting process. So again, if in this aged balances, if you want to write off anything, you can select this particular customer, Mahindra Motors. So from here also you can create a write-off journal. From here also you can create a collection letter journal and interest journal for this particular customer all the time. For each specific customer, you can create these journals from here. So you can create a write-off journal from here as well. The write-off process is complete. Default write-off journal for collections must be set up in the accounts receivable parameters. So it is asking for that journal to be set up in the AR parameters. We have that option. So when I give that, it will automatically create a journal. I'll show you. Wait a second. So I'm in MRF, accounts receivable. Accounts receivable parameters. So it should be in collections, or it should be in collections. Write-off journal here, default journal for write-off. Suppose I'll select this one, journal only. See, you can see only the daily journals here. So these are the 3 journals for which I gave the journal type as daily, so I can see them. You can create one separate journal as write-off journal and you can give it if you want to. Okay, you can also give default write-off reason. Normally it is actually configured somewhere in the module itself, or you can edit it, I think, from here. You can create this write-off reason. It's somewhere. It's not in this legal entity, it's for another legal entity. I'll give this for MRF. I'll give a bad debts account here, or reason code. I'll create a reason code here as view details. Quickly, I'll create one. Okay. Create a reason code 10 as write-off customer balance. It's for customer, bank, asset, ledger. For all of them, I'll give it. Close it. Here I'll select it. Write-off customer balance. Here I have to select the bad debts account. So I can create one bad debts account here. create a bad debts account as an expense account, like 5,20,000. Bad debts expense account, save it. Go back, give the same account here, 5,20,000. Save it here. For MRF legal entities, these are for different legal entities, as you can see here. So I'll just save it. Go back. Here I see default rate of reason and the bad debts account separately, both of them. Then if I'll save it, if I go back again to the same customer, I want to write off this 10,000 balance of this customer. Select this customer, click on write off. So write off date according to today's date. Yeah, for today's date, write off reason code, it automatically selected, and you see the bad debts account here automatically taken. Click on OK. Let's see how it creates. It should create a journal automatically. So it's saying that using that journal we gave, right, as a default journal. So it took that journal. Normally it'll create a separate journal as write off journal with journal type daily itself. So it created journal number 82 in MRF. So it is saying that it is ready to be posted. Let's go and check it. We can go and check it in the journals, journal ledger, general journals. So here I can see this one. No, not this one, actually this one. Write off transactions for customer 3 Mahindra Motors. MRF 82. Go to lines. Here you can see it's creating a compound entry actually. No, offset account is not selected, but you can see customer account is being credited. 10,000 is being write on. You can see the description as well. And you see this bad debts account, which is an expense account, which is getting debited automatically. It's here. So that's how here write off journal will be automatically created for 10,000 amount. If you want to edit the amount, I think you can change the amount. If you only want to write off 5,000, you can write off only 5,000, not entire 10,000. Just change it here. 1 second. Yeah. Now I can post this one. Amount is different. 1 second. Save this. Acha, it marked the transactions actually. Sorry for that. I'll show you what it is done. So there would be some pending transactions on the customer, right, for this amount of 10,000. It have marked all of them for settlement actually. So I'll just save it as it is. Now I can see it in the inquiries. View market transactions here. So the pending customer transaction will be there, right? The invoice. So it would have marked that invoice here for payment. It's not showing actually, but it would normally do that. Functions, no, it should normally show up here, the view market transactions. This inquiry is not working. Normally you have a customer invoice, right? 10,000 pending amount that will be marked automatically for settlement here. So when I post this, that will also get settled to this one. So it will become entirely zero. Customer balance will become zero. The debit balance there existing on the invoice will be settled to this credit balance that you are posting. So I'll just post this one now. Guys, do you hear any noise from my side? Drums and all music. No.
No, JP.
Okay, perfect. Well, this is posted journal. Now if I go to customer account, accounts receivable all customers, I can see the customer balance will become zero and written off. That will be the final step in collections if nothing works out. And now we have a lot of other features also in credit and collection module. We got a new feature called as credit management, where you can manage your credits with the customers. You can block the customers temporarily if they are not paying. Now also you can block actually, but that gives way diversity of features again for maintaining the collections. So you can also design some activities what has to be done with customers. So here Mahindra Motors is the customer. You can go to customer and you can go for balance. See, the customer balance will be 0. No balance. So if I go to customer and transactions, so there are a lot of transactions actually. So where is the 10,000 write-off transaction? It is here, as you can see. So what are the transactions that are settled to this? You can see in the settlement history of that write-off journal. So there were 2 invoices pending, 5,000 and 5,000, which were rent invoices pending for the future date something, but it have written off all those 2 invoices or settled those 2 invoices with that written off balance amount. This is how it is. So it's a loss for you, or the bad debts is a loss or expense account, so it's debited, and you know the accounts receivable account is credited here, which eventually made the customer balance to 0. That would be all guys regarding the operations with the accounts receivable. Tomorrow we'll see that parameters concept. Not tomorrow actually. Tomorrow I'll be traveling. I'll be in Warangal. Tomorrow, day after tomorrow, I'll again meet. We'll meet on Monday again. So we'll see that accounts receivable parameters in a quick time. Later we'll start with the tax module on Monday itself. So it takes a while, like 3 to 4 classes. If you go fast, we'll discuss that. I hope the things are clear until here with the credit and collections module. I just gave you an overview since they might ask you in interview, do you know this module and all? So if you left a blank, I don't want you to stand blank in the interview. So just say that you know the overview, what all will be there in the account, I mean the credit and collections module, but none of the clients that you have worked with have used this module or done something on this module. Only they'll do this aging period definition mostly. They'll configure this and use it in various areas. So the aging period definition that you configure here will be available for running the vendor reports as well as customer reports, any reports in accounts payable and accounts receivable modules. Okay. And for write-offs, yeah, you can use it from here, or you can directly do write-offs from journal module also. It's easy. Or in the through customer payment journal also, somebody will do write-offs. Creating a write-off journal with the journal type as customer payment itself. It's a separate journal, so they will write off from that one as well. So anything can be followed. It depends on the practice of the customers. That would be all. I'll just stop the recording and